Hey, it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Thursday, February 27th. So welcome to the new moon day. We are going to be building towards the new moon in Pisces, popping off at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But coming into the day, we're still very much in this Aquarius energy. We are in a void with this moon in Aquarius energy. We have one aspect popping off with the moon in Aquarius energy in this void before we shift into the Pisces energy and actively start building towards the breakdown, breakthrough energy that this new moon in Pisces is definitely creating. If you have not listened to the astro forecast that I put out for this particular event, I'm going to recommend you do so. If you have not downloaded your new moon in Pisces manifesting guide for this next lunar cycle, I'm going to recommend you do that as well. And of course, if you have your February energy guide available to you, this is going to be the last astro event in that monthly guide before we shift into March. So there's definitely a lot going on. It's a heaviness, it's a weight, there is this breakdown versus breakthrough energy taking place, and the closer that we get to the new moon in Pisces, the darker things are going to be. That being said, we have 10 different aspects popping off here today. 8 of those aspects are going to involve the moon. So as I previously mentioned, we come into the day with the moon in Aquarius energy still in this void. And the one interaction that the moon in Aquarius has is a positive one with Neptune. Neptune, of course, in his rulership in this Pisces energy. This is a beautiful interaction to kind of, I'm going to say, gain some insight, gain some clarity on what needs to stay, what needs to go. Now, the moon in Aquarius is thinking very futuristically and thinking about, again, coming back into the present moment, what we can do to kind of adjust, make changes, pivot, improve our current situation to help us align with the goal, vision, and dream that we're excited to actually manifest. The Neptune energy is kind of renewing our hopes, our wishes, our dreams. And so again, we have the option, the opportunity to blend intellect with intuition here, kind of see the forest past the trees, see where it is that we want to end up, and do the work within ourselves to kind of bring certain emotions, bring certain thoughts to the surface that are blocking us from moving on and moving forward, doing what we need to do to release and get rid of that energy so that, again, we can fulfill ourselves with new inspirations, new creative ideas, and start building towards the goal, the vision, the dream that's triggering a little bit of excitement. 3:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the moon shifts into Pisces energy. And of course, the moon in Pisces is hella emotional, hella intuitive, hypersensitive. We're picking up on all kinds of things. We are also in a state of overwhelm where our emotions are concerned. And if you haven't listened to the Ascension forecast for this week, I'm going to recommend you do so. Even if you have, go back, take another listen, because this is when the Ascension symptoms that I mentioned in that forecast are likely to be popping off at the peak potency of feeling these particular energies manifest in the body. Now, before we have any moon and Pisces interactions, we have Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information, communication, how it is that we express ourselves in this Pisces energy, sextiling, which is a beautiful interaction with Uranus, the great awakener, in Taurus energy. So again, we love Pisces and Taurus energy working well together, because whatever it is that we can visualize, whatever it is that we are inspired to kind of want to do or want to pursue, we're going to be able to start bringing it into fruition through the Taurus energy. What I really like about this interaction is, of course, Uranus rules over the higher mind, the higher part of our intellect. It connects us with the higher realms, the higher dimensions, if you will. And that's where we receive a lot of our insights from. Now, Mercury, on the other hand, kind of rules over the lower level intellect that very much connects us to our ego avatar and really depends on bringing information in from our physical realm to formulate thoughts, ideas, opinions, and plans about, what is possible for us. So we have Uranus kind of pushing us to see past our physical circumstances, what is possible as long as we have that goal, vision, and dream in mind. And then we have Mercury kind of working on the lower level intellect, piecing together what we have to do here in this physical realm in order to start aligning with the possibility of bringing these goals, visions, and dreams to life. And so the higher mind and the lower mind are working together, and Uranus is kind of positioning us to have an open mind, an open heart, if you will. We have to adopt new ways of doing things in order to create different results. If we continue doing what it is that we've been doing, we're only going to get what it is that we've already got. So this particular interaction is kind of downloading us with a new perspective, a new mood, new attitude, new lens, looking at life through this new lens in order for us to see where adjustments and improvements could be made, where we could try different things, if you will, where we could be thinking outside of the box and therefore acting a little bit outside of our character, of our routines, of our same old, in order to create a different energy, in order to create a different result, a different outcome. Now, this is going to be a time of aha moments. There are a lot of downloads. There's a lot of creative ideas. There's a lot of inspiration coming at us. Hopefully, we're going to be able to make sense of it sooner than later, but under the new moon, there's some darkness there. And so there is a confusion there. And with Mercury being in Pisces energy, there are no boundaries. There is no structure to our thoughts, to our ideas. So we might be receiving something that makes a whole hell of a lot of sense to us in that particular moment. We can't articulate it. We can't communicate it outside of our physical selves. And then it kind of, it comes and it goes just as fast. Again, please be writing your epiphanies, your brilliant ideas down, because again, it's a lightning bolt of understanding and then equally a wave of confusion that comes in and kind of makes things a little bit messy again. Nonetheless, this is a beautiful interaction. Is going to help us out to kind of, again, see the forest past the trees, see what needs to be done in order to provide the endings and closures in our physical realm to create the space, clear the slate for us to be building towards something new. Now, the moon in Pisces is going to go ahead and make a very uncomfortable interaction with Mars, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desire, now direct in Cancer energy. So yes, this is water on water action, but it's not a great interaction, which means that the waves are choppy as F. Emotionally speaking, there are some high highs, some very low lows. And we are going to be tossed from one side to the other. We are going to be tossed from one extreme to the other. And this is going to put us in a situation to have some very strong feels. Definitely with Mars, we are feeling the frustration. We're feeling the restlessness. We are feeling the want, need, desire to take action, to make moves. Of course, we can't do that. We can't act on impulse, even though we want to. And so there is this, kind of wish-washy, vague energy where we have a moment of clarity, we know what we need to do, and then immediately fall into confusion, have no sweet Jesus, that clarity that just came, and all of a sudden we are making more, let's call it confusion and anxieties than there actually needs to be. The moon in this Pisces energy then going to make a very positive interaction with Pluto, the great transformer in this Aquarius energy. So this is a beautiful interaction that's going to take us out of that dark pit, kind of show us where it is that, again, we're being tested in our faith, we're being tested in our trust, the trust that we have within ourselves, the trust that we have for the universe, for the greater, grander plan. And because of this is a boss up energy. So we're feeling inspired, we're feeling refreshed, we're feeling renewed in our hope and our faith and our wishes. And so this is a beautiful energy to not only, kind of rise up, but to realize where it is that we're having some aha moments. Pluto tends to reveal hidden details, hidden information, hidden perspectives. Not that it was hidden away from us, just that it was probably right in our face. We just weren't ready to see it in the way that we're seeing it right now. And of course, all of these revelations are definitely popping off in this particular manner and in this particular order in order for us to be at a particular aha moment, breakdown, breakthrough point for this new moon that, of course, we're building towards. The moon in Pisces then going to semi-square Chiron. Chiron being the wounded healer, of course, being aspected in not a great way. We're going to be sitting in the wound. So just when we're feeling empowered, just when we're bossing up, just when we're feeling refreshed and renewed in our soul and our spirit and our hopes, our faith, our wishes, suddenly we start beating ourselves up. We start breaking ourselves down and we start focusing in on all the reasons of why it's never going to happen, why we can't do it, why we're never going to be able to get there. Again, the whininess, the victimhood mentality kicks in when we have these tougher aspects. And again, we need to beat ourselves up and break ourselves down in preparation for this resurrection, this breakthrough, this recalibration of our soul, of our spirit. We then have Saturn, the Lord of Karma, in Pisces energy, again, trying to wrap up a particular cycle, put those karmic chapters behind us, dissolve the false belief system, dissolve the old realm, the old reality, the old identity. We have Saturn interacting with Chiron in a beautiful way. So again, just think of waves in the ocean, right? And all of the aspects that we've already talked about. We've had high highs, we've ridden that top of that wave, and then all of a sudden we're crashing down into the low part of that wave, the valley, if you will, and then we're rising up again. So with Mr. Saturn here, first of all, he kind of brings us back down to reality, which is a good thing because, again, we kind of lost ourselves in that dark pit, beating ourselves up, breaking ourselves down, if you will. But he brings an organization into our inner realm. He kind of puts into perspective where it is that we got to boss up, or we got to kind of act from a more mature place, where we have to understand that we have roles and responsibilities that we have to fulfill, that we have to bring to a completion point before we start this brand new chapter. And so this is putting us in a beautiful situation to focus on our strengths, to focus on what we've been able to grow through, what we've been able to heal. Again, this is building ourselves up out of beating ourselves down. And this is putting us in a much more, let's call it more realistic perspective on what is actually going on in our inner realm. 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The moon in Pisces comes up to, bumps into, teams up with, conjuncts the sun in Pisces. This is what gives us our new moon. So again, if you haven't listened to the astro forecast, please do that. If you haven't downloaded the moon guide, please do that. If you haven't gotten your February energy guide in front of you, please do that as well. We have a lot of wild card energies coming at us. Any conjunction is technically a wild card energy, but seeing as, again, the minute that we enter into this new moon Pisces lunar cycle, that we're also kind of tapping into the eclipse energies that are coming at us with the full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo. We are definitely going to be feeling all the craziness, all the chaos, again, being tossed from one extreme to the next. We have the moon in Pisces then making a beautiful interaction with Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money. And this Aries energy in preparation, she is going into her retrograde March 1st. And so there's a jitteriness, there's heart activations. We're having a major change, major pivot point in our heart space where our worth and our values, our happiness, our joy is concerned. We're trying to figure out who and what makes us happy, who and what makes us feel safe and secure, and who and what does not. And therefore, through this retrograde that Venus is about to dive into, relationship dynamics are going to change. Our own self-worth is going to change. What makes us happy, what brings us joy, what makes us feel safe, secure, and stable is going to change. There's going to be a lot of change in our heart space and, of course, eventually in our physical realm. The moon interacting with Venus in this way is definitely putting us in a position to see again where endings need to take place, emotionally speaking, moon in Pisces, in order for the beginnings to actually take form, Venus in Aries. And so again, there's a major, major realization of the inner realm changes going on and what needs to be done in our exterior realm in order to mirror back what it is that we've already arrived at in our inner realm between our heart and our head. The moon in Pisces then goes ahead and makes a beautiful interaction with Uranus, the great awakener in Taurus energy. So this is beautiful because we're receiving a lot of insights, a lot of inspiration, a lot of clarity on what needs to be done, specifically where it is that we need to detach from people, places, and things, from the old world, the old realm, the old reality that, again, we're no longer in alignment with. And so this is like a jolt of lightning to our heart space to show us where it is that, again, beautiful things are off on the horizon. But in order to actually get there, we have to clear the path. We have to clear the way. And that requires doing some hard things, cutting the cord, detaching from, closing the door upon people, places, and things that, again, are no longer encouraging us, no longer serving us. The last thing that we have going on here today is the moon in this Pisces energy squaring with Jupiter, the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings in Gemini energy. So this square is highlighting where we're going through some growing pains. We have Jupiter that usually brings a whole lot of optimism, a whole lot of confidence, But at this particular juncture, square is not the greatest aspect for that. So we're not feeling optimistic. We're not feeling confident. We are not even focused on the areas in which we are being presented with to grow, to evolve, to expand upon certain topics and themes. What this is doing is, first of all, Pisces and Gemini energy, they're both mutable signs, thus giving us this square. But what we're going through is, emotionally speaking, we're trying to come to a certain term of acceptance. We're trying to come to certain endings and closures. That's that Piscean energy, the moon being in Pisces. On the other hand, we have the Gemini energy focused on our mind, focused on our thoughts, focused on our ideas. And so our mental plane and our heart space aren't really in alignment right now. They're not on the same page at all. What we're thinking is very different from what it is that we're feeling. And what we're ready to close the door upon, emotionally speaking, doesn't make a whole lot of sense to us logically, practically in our headspace. And so this is going to be a time where, again, emotions are over exaggerated. Our mental plane is very foggy, very confused. It isn't going to feel good, but it's not supposed to. It's supposed to highlight for us where it is that the division is alive and well between our heart and our head, between our inner realm and our outer realm. And from that illumination, then we can start kind of working on how to get them back into alignment, which of course is going to require us to make some major changes to our exterior realm.